Well, my name's William Faucette. I'm a Grand President here with World Global, and you're going to be previewing in the next 30 minutes what I believe to be the greatest financial vehicle I'll see in my lifetime. Now, that's a strong statement for me to make, given that I've been in the direct selling or network marketing industry for 27 years. I believe it's the greatest industry in the world. And in that space, I've been everything from a struggling representative to a top producer to corporate exec, and ultimately was the CEO of a $120 million company. And I divested from that company, was looking for my next opportunity. And after previewing a number of companies, speaking directly to their top management, typically CEOs, and considering starting my own company or joining existing management teams, I settled here with World. I believe, again, it's the best vehicle I'll see. And so you've been invited here to preview the same information I saw, and I'm going to share it with you here in the same fashion that I saw it. So to give you a sense of what you'll be taking a look at, if you see these key components to business, if you have one or two of these, you have a viable opportunity. A few more, and you probably have a once-in-a-generation opportunity. But all of them together is once in a lifetime, and that's what I believe World represents. However, before we get into the detail, I want to do something that's very unique. World asks us to play an income disclosure statement, and that is certainly a testament to the quality of the company's management. They want you to know exactly what the opportunity is and what it isn't. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll get right into the information.
Practicality dictates that everyone's results will vary, as we are all unique and different. Basically, it takes hard work to make a substantial income in this business, and some people will make no money at all. The earnings of a World Global Network partner will be 100% dependent upon their skills, work effort, commitment, leadership capabilities, and market conditions. Common sense would suggest that in most opportunities, one would find exceptional individuals performing well above average, while others perform under the average. World Global Network does not guarantee any level of income or your success. To see our full income disclosure, please visit our website at www.worldgn.com.
So again, that's very unique. Very few companies are that upfront with the fact that this opportunity will depend upon your willingness to follow the system and to work. The great thing here is it certainly can produce a significant result, as it has for me and many others, and you simply have to bring the desire and the commitment. So let's get right into that information. The first thing I want to share with you is the power of our timing. Bill Gates said it best: secret to success is figuring out where people are going and getting there first. And I want you to understand that World has very unique positioning. It is in front of what are predicted to be some of the biggest trends to hit the American economy. Now, our space in the industry is called wearable technology, and I wasn't familiar with that as a market segment when I heard about World. However, I did know some of the companies that compete in the space, but I had no idea that it was as big as it is. As you can see here, Forbes magazine says the market will be $34 billion over the next 2.5 years. I recently read another research report that actually says that the industry will be closer to $60 billion, but 30 or 60, I'm sure you'll agree that's a tremendous amount of opportunity. Wall Street Journal showed the growth in terms of products shipped from over 8 million a few years ago to more than 111 million last year. And I love this Time magazine quote. It says, wearable tech will change your life, like it or not. And I'm a person who had the cellular industry change my life. I didn't understand why anyone would take pictures with their cell phone 10 years ago when I heard about the trend in Europe. And now here's my cell phone with over 5,000 pictures and 500 videos. And you can see Business Insider, very exciting quote, says that very soon your smartphone will be obsolete, because everything you can do on your smartphone, you will be able to do with a band around your wrist. So let's look at the world global entry into the wearable space. It's called the Hilo, or Health and Lifestyle Oracle. Now, as you can see, the Hilo truly is a game changer, and it does a number of things that you find in this industry, but it goes a fair amount beyond. First of all, you can certainly measure your heart rate and your steps and your calories like you can do with others, but we also allow you to measure your breath rate, your mood, your energy. And in addition, you can take an EKG with it. You can monitor your blood pressure. And then two features that go even beyond that, it gives you the ability to monitor not only your own vitals. It is an alarm. It's not a medical device. It just alerts you if there's any issue or concern, but it also can be programmed to alert others if it detects any kind of challenge. So for example, my mother lives alone, and if her Hilo detects anything going on with any of the vitals I mentioned and a few others, it can alert me. So that certainly brings peace of mind. And similarly, it has something called the panic button, which, as it suggests, would allow anyone who is in an uncomfortable situation, perhaps in an area of their community that suddenly becomes not as safe. They can press a button. It will alert whomever it's been programmed to alert with an SOS message, GPS coordinates, and even directions to get to their location. So this truly is very advanced, and this is just the beginning. Because if you think about the advent of the smartphone, particularly the iPhone, when Apple came out with the iPhone, I didn't understand it. It was a terrible phone. I never would have converted, at least not at that time. But my friends who had iPhones were passionate about it, and they were passionate because of the apps. By the end of the first year, the iPhone had 800 or so apps, and people would not give up their phones because of them. Now, fast forward to today, the phone I showed you a few minutes ago is an iPhone. I became a convert because there are more than 2 million apps now for the iPhone, and also similarly for the Android devices, and most people have their lives on those phones and with those apps. The relevance is that very recently, World announced the advent of its own app store. When I met with our CEO, Fabio Galdi, he told me that this was a big part of the project. He felt it was equal to the hardware, and we have apps in development now, over 200 developers. There are already some that have been released, some that I've already mentioned, like blood pressure and EKG. We have a gamification of health and wellness. I've heard that folks are working on things like lie detectors, and so things that you and I never would have thought about. However, someone's passionate about them, and they certainly can become things that enhance people's lives and lifestyle. Now, the relevance to you and I is we're able through World to move from the consumer side, paying others for these services like you do with your phones now, to the producer side, getting paid, because you know how apps work. Either when you download them or you do something within the app, you typically pay, and we will be able to get paid for that. So it's very exciting, and here are some of the upcoming apps that have created the most excitement. The company has already announced these will be available for the Hilo most in this year, 2017. And we've announced alcohol monitoring. We've announced the first non-invasive blood glucose testing. So if you think about anyone who is diabetic or pre-diabetic or has a condition where they need to monitor their blood sugar levels, state-of-the-art, even with all the technology we have now, state-of-the-art is you prick your finger, and that can be annoying or worse to someone who has to do it quite frequently. Well, you will be able to press a button on your smartphone in a few months, and your Hilo will measure that for you. We also will measure blood oxygen level. And so, there are many different market niches. You might think of one thing when you think of blood oxygen or blood glucose, but it's something entirely different when you think of blood alcohol level. Now imagine your child or someone you care about having a Hilo and being able to just check and see if they've got any alcohol in their blood. That's very significant. and something we will be able to do. There will be fertility, a fertility app as well, so that if you're doing family planning, you want to be pregnant or not, the Helo will help you with that. So a number of things that are either already in development, imminent, or planned for future development are very exciting. And in addition to that, we have something called germanium stones. This is an indirect benefit. Germanium is an antioxidant. You can put it in the band, and it has a number of benefits. It reduces muscle stiffness, increases blood circulation, which thereby also increases blood oxygen levels. So this is a feature that many who are in the health and wellness space are well aware of, and we give our customers that option to put germanium in their bands as well. Now, because of everything that we've talked about, the Helo is generating quite a bit of interest. We've already been ranked the #1 product in direct selling for 2017. We've also had a significant amount of attention, local, regional, and national news stories. The one that I like the best isn't even on here. A few weeks ago, we were featured on the Today Show as one of the hottest tech gadgets. In fact, Carson Daly actually had the Helo on his wrist. So very exciting. And we were also featured at the Consumer Electronics Show. Now that is the largest technology show of its type. It features the latest and greatest in technology. World Global didn't have a booth. However, our partner Toshiba did. Now Toshiba is a $50 million plus company. I wasn't there, but I understand we were the only product they featured. And the reason is because Toshiba makes the chipsets that are in the Helo. We were their first customer for their newest chip. They did a significant amount of due diligence, came back, wanted to buy the company. When Fabio Galdi said no, they said, well, at least partner with us. And so it gives me comfort, and maybe you as well. I'm very analytical, but I know I cannot do due diligence as well as a $50 billion company. So in my case, it's good enough for Toshiba. It's good enough for me as well. Now, everything we've talked about has led to significant sales for the Helo, despite the fact that we've only been on the market since last September. And our latest version, the Helo LX, just started shipping in April. But you can see for 2017, we are on pace to sell more than 1 million units. We've already sold 500,000. We're 4th largest in the space. When we sell through the inventory that's already been received or on order, we could rise as high as #2. Again, I want you to think about this. We have about 5% of the market now. As this market grows to 30+ billion, potentially as high as 60, imagine what will happen as we have not just 5, but 10, 15, 20% of the market or more. You can see we're already ahead of some very big names. We're closing in on some of the others. But either way, even if we stayed at #4, the level of opportunity for you and I is very, very significant. Now, we have some other products as well that are equally life-changing. We have one called the BioZen. BioZen is simply a computer chip that comes in the form of a sticker. And what it does is eliminates low-level radiation that all electronic products emit. So, for example, there are about 10 devices in my vicinity. I'm in my home office now. I've got monitors, speakers, microphones, television, printers, etc. All of them are emitting radiation that could be harmful, and so all of them have BioZen stickers on them. BioZen reduces or eliminates it altogether. Again, very exciting, particularly for those of you who care about their health and who have others that whose health they care about. But equally exciting is a product that's coming in the near future. It's called the Infolio, and it will be the first zero-emission cell phone on the market, because the BioZen technology, rather than putting a sticker on the outside like I have on my iPhone, the BioZen will be embedded on the inside, and you won't sacrifice anything in order to get that protection. You can see that this is a state-of-the-art phone. It has what's called a bezel-less design, which simply means the screen goes all the way to the edge. So it has the profile of an iPhone 7, but the screen size of a 7 Plus. Dual SIM card, a very fast processor, state-of-the-art camera. You won't sacrifice one thing to protect your health. I will tell you, sitting there talking with a cell phone against your ear when it's emitting radiation is not the most comforting. And so I'm sure that you are looking forward to the advent of the Infolio as well. In the interim, though, you certainly can put the BIOS in on your phone, as I have, and get that level of comfort. Now, everything we've done up to now is a credit to our CEO, Fabio Galdi. When I met with him peer-to-peer, I was very impressed. In fact, he actually changed my thinking in terms of what direction I was going to go in. And I saw a couple things. Certainly, I saw a vision, but there are a lot of visionary people. More importantly for me, I saw the ability to carry out the vision, because Fabio is not just a business person or a marketer, he's a scientist as well. And so I knew that he would keep the company positioned on the cutting edge. He's the person who invented the Hilo. And you can see some of his other accomplishments in business. For me, I like to look at where someone's been to know where they're going. So again, Fabio gave me some very significant comfort. He's put together a top management team as well. Alessandro, our COO, is a PhD in mathematics, the mastermind behind the comp plan. And Antonio De Rosa is one of the most well-known designers and futurists in technology. He predicted the introduction of a number of products like the iPhone and the iPad. And now he's bringing all of that expertise to bear on World Global products. And you can see his influence in the Infolio and some of our other devices. But this team together, the company has been around for 5 years. It's achieved significant accolades. The one that I like to highlight the best is called the DSN Top 100. DSN stands for Direct Selling News. Now, direct selling news is like the Wall Street Journal of direct selling or network marketing. It's, the Bible of our industry, very prestigious to make this list. I ran a company that had been on the list for several years, so I know how difficult it is to get there and stay there. And it blew me away that World Global has been on the list for 2 years with no presence in North America. See, North America was just opened in September of 2016. So we haven't even been here for a year. North America has 2 of the top 5 markets in the world for direct selling, Mexico and the United States. You rarely, if ever, find a company that makes the DSN Top 100 with no presence there, but World has. So we truly have a ground floor opportunity without the risk of a ground floor company. And we're just getting started. Now, we also are a public company, so you can certainly check out anything that we've mentioned. You also can choose to invest. If you do your due diligence first, that's certainly what I would recommend. You can see the trend that the stock has been on from less than $1 a year ago to more than 23 in this last month or so. And that certainly should suggest that Wall Street has embraced the company and its technology. But I like to highlight for people, whether you invest or not, the biggest opportunity is still from the inside. As I said earlier, moving from the consumer side, paying someone else, to the producer side, getting paid as people adapt and accept the technology and the products that World offers. Now, one of the other things that was very significant to me, the power of the company and opportunity from those 7 components, is the fact that this business is global. Now, even having been a part of a management team that created a $120+ million company from nothing, I'll be honest and admit that when we expanded internationally, we failed more than we succeeded. So to find a company that truly is basically worldwide, there are only a few countries that the company isn't in. Those few countries you probably wouldn't want to go to anyway. But I was amazed to find that I could send someone halfway across the world to my website. They could click on a drop-down menu, find their country, see the products, order one, and have it direct shipped to their doorstep. That truly blew me away. Being able to build an international marketing team, as I am now, from the comfort of my home. And all of the systems the company has are a credit to the team that has been building the opportunity in the field. This is Nat and Shanita Puranaputra. They are our global master distributors. Now, even they have only been with the company for about 15 months. However, you can see their record of success. Now, first of all, they are recognized as some of the top representatives in the history of the industry. In fact, Chinita is recognized as one of, if not the top selling and earning female in the industry. But you'd expect them then to be on the map with World when they chose to come here. But the thing that impressed me was that they've created a team of people who have been recognized as top earners as well. Business for Home publishes on a monthly basis the top earners in the industry. Now, this is worldwide of the tens of thousands of companies and tens of millions of distributors. The Business for Home publishes the top 200. Nat and Chinita are on the list as number 4, but there are 10 other world representatives, including 4 from the US. Again, all of this in fewer than 1 year's time. The great thing is all of these people are committed to helping you create success as well. So if you see an opportunity, how do you choose to get started? Whether that opportunity is to simply use the product or to become a business owner or both. Well, that's your first decision. Do you want to be a business owner affiliated with World or a customer or both? To become a business owner, your first step is simply to fill out an agreement. It's very simple. You don't get charged anything. That's very unique in our space. And then you can choose to purchase a product as well. Now, particularly for those building the business, I recommend getting started with a bundle. So at least the family bundle, which includes 4 Helos, 4 Biozen. We have a fashion band kit, which has different colored bands that you can change out depending upon your mood or what you're wearing. You get 4 of those as well. And the reason I recommend the family bundle is A, because you have people you care about. So my wife has a Helo, my mother has a Helo. People I care about, I can monitor their health and they can monitor mine. But in addition, you're building a business. And so in my case, I got started, the team started growing very quickly. I didn't want my people to have to wait to get their Helo. I would give them one and then they would replace mine when theirs came in. And so I personally got started with 3 family bundles over my first couple of weeks. I also bought the Biozen 30 because I had more than 30 devices in my home that I wanted to put Biozen on and protect myself and my family from. But wherever you choose to start, you pick your package. Just know that when you refer someone to this information and they choose a starting package or they choose to become a customer, you get paid. 10% of whatever they spend is paid to you in the form of a commission. And so your first step is to get started and become a customer should you choose to. Your second step is to find a few people who want to do what you do. And I know some of you are thinking, well, wait a minute, there's the catch, because you don't see yourself as a salesperson. Great. I don't see myself as one either. I want you to understand, though, you're already doing what we do here in World. For example, if you see a good movie, you eat in a good restaurant, you typically do what? You tell someone. The difference here is you don't get paid when you do that, and we do. So you're just referring people to good information. We build 2 teams here in World. We could call them 1 and 2, but instead we're visual, so we say right and left. And your first goal is to find a few people who see what you see, get started, 1 on your left, 1 on your right, and you'll then earn up to 20% of whichever team is smaller, all the sales volume in that team. So again, refer some people when they choose to get started. You'll not only get that fast start commission, but you'll get up to 20% of anything that gets produced because they've chosen to get started. Now, those people have gotten started and they saw you get paid. They think that's great, I'm sure, but what do you suppose they want to do? Of course, they want to get paid themselves. So your next step is to help them do what you did. That position I just mentioned, 1 right and 1 left, is called team builder. And your next goal is to produce a team builder on your left, a team builder on your right, and you become a team developer. Now, let me clarify what that means. It means you've got 1 left, 1 right, and they've got 1 left, 1 right. That's all it is. It's that simple. 6 people. And what team developer does then is opens up the career path in World. So there's additional income available, additional benefits like a car allowance and trips and even jewelry. Other recognition is available, and this shows how you could advance to higher levels of earning. There's plenty of numbers here. I don't want you to get intimidated by it. Just know that more income's available one of the income streams I like to highlight is called our check match. And so once you become a team developer, you will earn 10% of the income of anyone that you refer. Now that's very exciting. What if you refer a superstar? In the past, in the industry, I've heard people say, you could refer a superstar and make lots of money, but in reality, that's not true for most companies, because you have to kind of become a superstar in order to get paid on what your people do. Not the case here in World. We've already talked about what you do, become a team developer, then you get 10% of anyone you refer and up to 10% of anyone they refer through 10 levels or generations of representatives. Now, the other thing I want you to understand about this slide is that we have people at the highest ranks who are achieving success. So I'm a Grand President, on the verge of President Millionaire. I did that my first couple of weeks. I've been with the company for 5 months. My sponsor, Mike Sims, is a President Millionaire. He's been with the company for about 3 months longer than me. His sponsor, Ramasio Fulcher, is a double President Millionaire. He's been with the company a few months longer than Mike. And Ramasio's sponsors, Chad and Atita Chong, are the ones who opened up the U.S. and North America last fall, and they're Grand President Millionaires. All of those people have a vested interest in your success. So everything we've talked about now is significant, but probably most significant is your ability to build residual income. If you're not familiar with residual, it's very simple. It's the ability to get paid again and again for doing something once. Best example is Elvis Presley. If you believe that he's passed on, because some don't, if you believe he has, you're amazed to know that last year he made more, or his heirs made more than he did in the last year of his life 30 plus years ago. That's because every time one of his records plays, his heirs get paid. Well, in World Global, there's an incredible implementation of residual. It's called the loyalty membership. First thing to understand is it presents significant value. $59. That's your overhead in this business. What you get for that, even if you're just a customer, is significant. First of all, you can extend the enhanced monitoring features for the Hilo to up to 5 different devices. Now, those typically cost $12 per device, so you can see that that's a $60 value. You get a protection plan. Anything happens to your Hilo, you can send it back. The company will replace it. You also get 75 loyalty points. A loyalty point is simply $1 to spend in the World Global store. You can see here you're getting more than you're actually spending. What would you use a loyalty point for? Well, what about the next version of the Hilo, or Biogen, or the Infolio phone when it comes out? Those are things that all of us can spend our loyalty points on. So it's kind of like a savings program for the next device. All of that is significant just for customers, but the company goes one step better for its representatives. They have something called a money box. They take 1% of the sales volume on your smaller team and pay it back to you as a dividend or bonus at the end of 12 months of paying for the loyalty program. So as I said, I've been here 5 months, and my money box contains significantly more than it costs me to pay for the loyalty membership for an entire year. So the value and the fact that you can make more than it costs you from the money box make it a no-brainer. The company has better than 80% retention on it, and that truly presents a residual opportunity. And now the other thing in terms of opportunity I want you to understand is this slide, first of all, allows you to put some faces with names. You can see Nat and Shanita, Chad and Atita, Ramasio and Mike on the slide. But the key point to understand is this is the company's top leadership worldwide. And so there are 8 positions, 8 people who have hit President Millionaire or above. And imagine as we go from 150 million or so, where we are now, to the couple billion that's the corporate goal, imagine how many leaders we'll need at this position. More than 80, probably more than 800. We'll need thousands. You could not only be one, but you could override or benefit from the efforts of several. And the company takes care of its leadership. You can see here, this is an event we had last month where they presented significant cars, what we call supercars, to top leaders. Chad and Atita and Ramasio got Lamborghinis, and Nat and Shanita got Rolls-Royce. Our international distributors got Mercedes and Porsche. And the thing that amazed me, I've been a part of a company that gave away unbelievable cars, about $4,000 a month in value. It was a significant benefit. And then we would tell our representatives, stay qualified and we'll continue to make the payment. Well, World went one better. They said, here's your keys and here's your title. So these representatives own those cars free and clear. They were rewarding them for what they've done, not expecting anything from them in the future. That truly shows the company's heart. And this does as well. We were wondering what the company would do to follow up on that car promotion. Well, now they've unveiled a travel program that includes luxury homes. You can rent multi-million-dollar mansions for a couple $100s a week. But even better to me is that you get unlimited use of a private jet. And all you have to do to get this benefit and stay with it is hit the position of President Millionaire once per year. So that's why I'm running so hard for it. I imagine being able to fly, pick up a prospective business partner and take them to Miami on my private jet to review the opportunity with corporate staff and see the corporate office. Again, an unbelievable benefit. So to review, we talked about a company perfectly positioned in front of very significant trends. Top management team, very, very dynamic product, one you can be proud of and lead with. And best of all, the company is just getting started. We haven't even scratched the surface worldwide, let alone here in North America, where we haven't even been for a year. So that returns us to where we started. That was with you and your goals. If you see an opportunity, I encourage you to get started right now. World Global is the vehicle to help you get from where you are to where you want to go. I believe it's the best one that you and I will see. And I know that names are running through your mind. What you want is to get started. We don't ask you to sell or convince or even present. I'm doing the work here today. An expert will do the work for you. You just identify interest. You send a simple 2-minute video. And when people express interest, you refer them into the process. If those folks choose to get started, we will mentor them and you will benefit. So you, as it says here on the left of the slide, can end up potentially building a very large team. What you don't want to have happen is the other side, where you're thinking of people, you don't act, someone else gets to them, and then they come to you with the world opportunity. And I've certainly seen that happen many times over in the past. So if you see opportunity, act on it. Last thing I'll say is this. I know you have goals and dreams. The best thing that I can tell you about them is something that my 7-year-old said a few years ago. He was at we went out for ice cream and he was talking about all the incredible things he was going to do in his life. He was going to have a Porsche. He was going to live in an incredible house. He was going to have a beautiful wife. And his brother, who was 19, looked at him and said, "Why are you talking about all this now? You're only 7. And he looked back at him and he said, "Because in order to have a life, you have to plan a life." And so I would say to you, in order to make those goals a reality, you have to have a plan. I don't know of a better plan than what we have here in World Global. So I encourage you to get started. You can look back on today as the best financial decision you've ever made. So with that, we are going to conclude our presentation. The next presentation will be tonight at 9 p.m. We'll have an unbelievable expert doing the presentation. I look forward to seeing you back on that presentation, not as a guest, but as a representative with guests of your own. Thanks a lot. Have a great afternoon, and God bless.